How's it going, sports fans? Thanks for joining me on another edition of Primetime Sportz. I'm your host, Caleb Johnson. Moving right into things, the men's golf team this week was out in West Point, Mississippi, playing in the Old Waverly Collegiate, hosted by Mississippi State. The team finished fourth in the final regular season tournament and now looks to play in the Sun Belt Conference Championship April 24th through the 27th in Miramar Beach, Florida. Now, basketball season is already over, and while Panther fans may be disappointed at the outcome, there is one senior that you just can't help but be proud of. His name is Marcus Kreider. Reporter Toby Adeyemi gets to know the soon-to-be Georgia State graduate.
For the past 129 games, this has been the home of Marcus Kreider. He is now Georgia State's all-time leader in games played.
By any means necessary. That's the philosophy Malcolm X popularized. But also number 33 forward Marcus Kreider lives by. Above all, he wants to be remembered for his success accomplished during his tenure.
As people remember my years here as a whole, all I can say is banners. Banners and rings.
That's the best way.
The best way. History books.
One thing everyone at Georgia State is passionate about is the rivalry versus Southern. The games always sold out and always a must-see are some of the memories Kreider will take with him after graduation.
To have their passion running through my blood because I want to make them happy just as well as make myself and my teammates happy with the win.
But off the court is a side many people rarely get to see, by design and by purpose.
Usually I'm either in my room, in the locker room, or in class. I don't go to too many places just for the simple fact there's not nothing for me to do there.
Committed not only to basketball, another huge one. This just in. A commitment for life.
Her name is Joy A. Marshall. She plays for Indiana State women's basketball team. 6 foot, that's going to be my wife.
Toby Adeyemi for Primetime Sportz.
Thanks, Toby. Speaking for all of us here at Primetime, Marcus was not only a great player, but also great to interview. I know he's going to be missed. This week, our own general manager here at GSTV stepped out from behind the desk and onto the sand volleyball courts. Reporter Joey Redmond gets an inside look at the player leading our very talented beach volleyball team.
The College Strength and Conditioning Room. Only student athletes have exclusive access to these specially designed facilities. Most people think of football or basketball as sports that require a heavy dose of workouts at early morning hours. And those people might be surprised then to walk into the facility at 8 a.m. to find senior beach volleyball player SARA OLIVOVA working just as hard as any other student athlete on her way to perfecting her craft. The Czech Republic athlete follows a very structured workout routine that covers all your basics, from bench press to legs to even some more specialized routines designed for a more concentrated workout. Most people think working out is all work and no fun, but Sara's strength and conditioning coach, Devin Vernick, has other ideas.
Hammer time! Hammer time is also known as 842. Liberty. Life, liberty in the pursuit of a PVC pipe, or lacrosse ball, or other blunt object.
And when everything comes together, it can make for a very productive morning workout. So after getting plenty of time with Sara in the weight room, I managed to get her away for a little one-on-one time to learn about her just a little bit better.
So I actually played indoor volleyball my entire high school, and then my junior year in high school, I believe, I went down to Florida with one of my friends. Actually, we just thought it was a beach volleyball tournament just for fun, but it ended up being a recruiting camp, which we had no idea about, and that's when our coach Beth Van Fleet recruited me.
You are a senior this year. Talk about what the future looks like for somebody in beach volleyball. Where do you go after college? Because most sports have their defined professional league. Does beach volleyball have something similar?
Well, America has the AVP and NVL, which is a professional league, and then internationally you can compete in the FIVBs. And then in Europe there are tournaments that are just like European tournaments that are kind of like the FIVB, just like on a kind of a smaller level. I think a lot of people from America just go to like either California or Florida, try to like find sponsorships and partner and just go from there trying to compete in the IBPs.
But SARA is an international athlete. So what about playing on the international stage?
Yes, it's definitely one of my goals and dreams to play internationally. And I've only competed in the underage European Championship, and then I did go this past fall into the first FIVB. And me and my partner actually did make it into the main draw, which was really exciting.
But even that level might not be enough, while she still has the ultimate dream of playing in the Olympics.
Absolutely. I mean, I think every athlete does have that dream of going to the Olympics. Just like having a dream of going to the Olympics is obviously huge and big, and it's mine as well.
But according to her online bio, there's another Olympic sport that SARA seems to have a large interest in. Skiing.
You know, my dad, who still lives in Czech, taught me how to ski since I was like 5, and he also taught me how to snowboard, and it's definitely very cool to know how to do both, but I don't see it as a big deal because we just would go and do it on the weekends. He definitely wanted me to pursue it professionally, but somehow that did not end up happening.
But as big as SARA's dreams might be, beach volleyball is not considered a very popular collegiate sport. So it can be a big surprise to many to find out that there is sand in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
I think they're a little confused. I think they just don't really understand. I even explained there's palm trees. It's really cool. They're kind of like, where is that? Because it is really hidden. But if you kind of explain the MARTA station and walk by it, and a lot of people who have classes in those buildings actually watch us practice. So I think that's how it's spread a little bit.
And SARA is taking it upon herself to spread the message of the beach volleyball team by taking the sport into the classroom.
I'm actually doing a presentation in one of my classes on beach volleyball signals, because I think a lot of people always ask me like, oh, is this like where, you know how you show like this and that, is that where the people are supposed to serve the ball? And I just want to explain to everybody that it's actually the defense that we run, and also show them our beautiful courts here at Georgia State, and you know, to come out and watch. Obviously we're done with our home games, but even next year I think these courts are one of the most beautiful courts in college beach volleyball.
So continue to follow us here at Primetime Sports for all the latest Georgia State sports news. And for Primetime Sports, I'm Joey Redmond.
Great work, Joey. I don't know whether I'm more impressed by seeing Joey back out in the field or the work that SARA has been putting out on the court. I'll leave it up for you to decide. Switching from the sandy volleyball courts to the hard courts of tennis, reporter Deacon David Shealy introduces us to the seniors of women's tennis.
As usual, Lynn Timmerman and Nira Rasola Malala warm up, converse, and pump up their teammates prior to a match. However, this is one of the final times they'll be doing so, as they are graduating in a month.
They've just been so consistent. I mean, all season long, they've come through with some big matches for us, and they're definitely the strong part of our lineup that we rely on.
Both seniors were honored before last Saturday's match against Charlotte, but Coach Marshall insists on not center staging their upcoming departure.
If you do that, you add more pressure to the situation. I just really tell them to relax, go have fun. I really focus more on the process than I do all the other things that could get in the way of them mentally and just focusing.
Rasola Malala and Timmerman excel on the court with a combined 18-8 singles record prior to the Senior Day match, and they also excel in the classroom as they have both featured on the Sun Belt Honor Roll.
Like time management is really valuable when you have tennis all day and school in the morning, you know, and then at night sometimes you have to kind of really manage your time and also get the rest at the same time.
I mean, it's a big thanks to Bree, our academic advisor. She's just great. So I mean, I think it's a big thanks to her. And I mean, I think we had a 3.3 team GPA last semester and exceeds our expectations.
Even with the Sun Belt Championships looming, the two seniors already look forward to what awaits them after college.
I'm going to go home back to Germany. I'm going to keep playing tennis and do a part-time job.
For me, I will be doing an internship here in the States for like about a year, kind of figure out what I want to do and compete, and still trying to go towards my degree.
David Shealy, Primetime Sports.
Thanks, David. These seniors thought last week's matches were their final at home, but because of snow concerns in Boone, North Carolina, this weekend's matches have been moved to Georgia State's Claxton campus and are currently underway. In other sports news, Tuesday was a tough outing for the Panther baseball team as they lost 7-4 against Auburn University. Senior catcher Joey Roach blasted 2 home runs in the game, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the Tigers. GSU's softball team took on Georgia Tech this past Wednesday in their second matchup of the season. The first was opening day for the Lady Panthers as they walked off in 12 innings. Well, Wednesday they weren't so lucky as the Lady Yellow Jackets scored their own walk-off to defeat Georgia State 4-3. On a positive note, Ivy Drake continued her hitting success at the plate, knocking out her 9th home run of the season in that game. Well, speaking of success, GSU's track and field team received some honors this week. LaPortia Wells and Raven Gilbert were acknowledged as Sun Belt Conference Student Athletes of the Week. Wells all season has continued to break records, even her own, in shot put and hammer throw. Meanwhile, Gilbert has the fastest 200-meter time and second fastest 100-meter time in the entire conference. Big props to LaPortia and Raven. Well, that's all for this episode of Primetime Sports. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all the latest Georgia State sports news. Like us on Facebook at Primetime Sports and follow us on Twitter at PRIMESPORTZ with a Z. Make sure you add that Z. I'm Caleb Johnson, and I'll see you back here next Friday. Take care.